ZeroError is an enterprise AI platform for data quality that detects anomalies in the data. Those anomalies can be errors or can be amazing insights. This is the tool that I needed when I was an executive in Fortune 100 companies in the US, but did not exist. So this is how the idea came up. And our mission is basically become the #1 data quality platform in the next few years. We are based in Snowflake and Microsoft. We are partnered in both of them. So we are using the models that are available in both places, in Azure or in Snowflake. But for us, it's very important, the premise about your data is your data. So the customer data is not used to train anything. This is very important for us. So the way that ZeroError works, we have a catalog of analysis. We call them expectations. And depending on the analysis that we do, depending on the use case, we adapt those expectations or catalog of the analysis depending on the use case. This was born because all the tools in the market, they were not a good solution. Why? Number one, because executives live quarter by quarter. That means that you need a solution that you can implement and get results fast. And we are talking here in just few weeks. So our customers, from the moment that they provide us the use case and the data and get results, we are talking just 1 month, 1 month and a half. Can you imagine? First of all. Second, we are using generative AI. I can tell you, the majority of other solutions are just a framework of doing it yourself. Put your business rules. In ZeroError, we are allergic to the business rules. And here is where generative AI comes. And third, we are much cheaper than any solution in the market because you can go use case by use case. It's not a large technology implementation. And because when you put all this together, this is why we are getting so successful with our customers. We are partners with Microsoft and Snowflake. So part of our funding is coming through the partnerships and then also through our customers, because almost from the moment that we launched, because the idea was so sticky with the customers, we were very lucky that as soon as we start working with a customer, very soon they find more use cases. So we enter in a department, and as soon as the other departments know the results that they are getting with us, we expand to the other lines of business. Where you were 10 years ago, where you were yesterday. I wish that I had known you before. So, I mean, it's amazing on one hand. And then the other thing is that, the best feeling is when you're in a meeting with the executive or the head of data, and then you see their eyes brightening about oh my God, this is going to solve my problem. This is amazing. And as I was mentioning, for us, the best thing is that the stickiness, right? As soon as we finish in one project, they come with 3 different use cases that they want us to get started. Our goal is basically to become the standard in data quality because we are truly convinced, and we have a track record that proves that we are solving the huge problem that all executives are having on trusting their data. My advice is that they need to pick the right moment and the right time. Look, in my case, I did that when I had more than 20 years of working experience. The right moment appeared, right? This is point number 1. So don't be afraid if the years go by and you are not feeling that it's the right moment. It's okay, don't put pressure. Not everybody needs to be Zuckerberg and at 20 drop out college. The second thing is don't drop out college. Education is critical. Manage the way that you want, but please, you see 3 success stories, you don't see the other thousands of stories that did not. So that's really, really important because even now, at my age, I keep learning. So you need to be intellectually curious and continue that. And then third, I will recommend you very strongly, don't go with an idea. Show a minimum viable product. Find partners that can help you financing it at the beginning. What does it mean? It doesn't need to be the perfect solution. Go iteration by iteration. Start with something small, but when you go and present your case, don't go with a piece of paper. Show something that may work. So on one hand, I want to tell you, every time that a new company announced that, for example, DeepSeek, right? A new model, this is good news for all of us. Because what does it mean? That all the Gen AI models become cheaper and more commodity. Point number 1, right? Especially for the companies like mine, that we use applications on top of those Gen AI models. So the more innovation that is that way, the better. What happens with Gen AI? The problem of Gen AI is called artificial intelligence. It's not a good name because it's not intelligent, first of all. It's because it can do tasks. So one thing is doing jobs, another is doing tasks. The Gen AI is very good to do not a task, a small piece of a task. In our case, we do analysis, and then we bring the Gen AI in specific points. The risk, look, you mentioned it, Alessio. It's not, people think about like Terminator, right? We all have seen these movies. Sorry to disappoint, but the technology is not there, and probably, I don't know if we will be, at some point, we will be there, but not in the next few years. But you mentioned it very well. It's the regulation, it's being responsible. The most important thing is the use of the data, the treatment of the data. You have to be extremely careful when you're using Gen AI to know what happens with my data. As I mentioned before, in our case, we are like, your data is your data. We don't use it for anything, and we make sure that our partners don't use it. But for me, that's the most important thing. That, and then the regulation. Regulation in the US and in Europe is going in different routes. So what is very important is that in terms of the regulation, that they don't change the rules of the game, that they don't keep changing. Innovation is not good in regulation. The innovation needs to be in moving forward, not putting more barriers to the people that are trying to do the right things.